Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I have a pretty good deck this format. Well, not really, but I guess it's one of the rogue decks these days. But it's a Swordsoul Tenyi. I picked the entire core for like 30 bucks. So to me, it's like very budget. I think the whole deck is less than 100 bucks, and it's like super fun. And yeah, let's just get straight into it. This deck has been really fun lately. I've been testing it out a lot recently. So yeah, you want just a standard lineup. You got the 3 long one. You discard a Sword Soul or a Worm card, and then you summon himself. And then you get a token, level 4 tuner, and then you make it level 10 synchro if you wish to. Triple Moe, probably the best starter. If it's summoned, reveal a Worm or Sword Soul card, summon a level 4 token, and then you make your level 8 synchro. And then when she's sent to the grave for a synchro summon, you get to draw a card. And long one, if he's sent to the grave for a synchro summon, you get to burn for 12 to your opponent. So different things. And then I think my favorite one is Taya. I honestly want to run 3 because like yeah, he's like the most clutch card you can draw, like top deck or just like turn 2. Like he's like insane. Like he could bait stuff out. You make Boxia. And yeah, but he's basically so you banish a Sword Soul or Worm card in your grave. You summon the token, level 4 tuner, and then yeah, you also make your level 8s with this guy. But if you send to the grave for a synchro summon, you can send a Worm or a Sword Soul card to the grave. So yeah, he can send your 10E cards, which is really good. And then people run 3 of these, but I think only 2 is fine because you never want to open with 2 of these in your hand. Like 2 of these in your hand is like, it's not bad, but I'd rather have something else like a hand trap. So yeah, just 2. But I can see why people run 3, you know, it's like you want to see a starter, but I think this deck is consistent enough to see a starter every time. Yeah, that's all the Sword Soul monsters. Now to the Tenyi stuff. You got 3 Ashuna, he's the ash bait. You know, you want your opponent to ash this guy. This is the one that returns your worms from your banish zone to your hand. And 3 the bouncer. 3 Vachita, yeah, these are all necessary. These are all god cards. Like you want to open with at least like 1 of them, but if you have 2 of them, it's like, you know, like unstoppable. Going second or first, it's like really strong. And then I do play the 1 Shatana. Yeah, I think this card's still needed, like very situational, but it's there for like situational. And like let's say your monk is like just like by itself, you're a 10E monk, I guess he could come in clutch. But yeah, that's the 10 10Es. You could cut Shatana, but I think I find myself using him a lot more than others. In the other Sword Soul cards, I play the 3 Emergence. This is the Rhoda of the deck. But if you control a synchro monster, you can add any worm. And I do play the 1 Sacred Summit. I guess this is my replacement for the Ecclesia. So it's for me, it's like a 3rd Taya, basically. And this card's not that bad because you can reborn your synchro monsters too, which is kind of insane. So yeah, this card, I think it's underrated. Nobody runs this because turn 1. Actually, no, if you draw this turn 1, you can make a triple synchro board like easily with like Chi Xiao, potentially Baron or Cheng Yin and Berserker with like a blackout set. So that's like minimum if you do open like a specific hand. And then yeah, I do play 1 blackout. This card could be at because Power Desires is the best card in this deck, but yeah, this card always gets banished off of it. But I think you only need the 1. Like it's very situational. It's like good protection essentially. And then you play Triple Circle. Good in your hand, good in the grave. Overall, yeah. Screw you Imperm, screw you Veiler, screw you any targeting card. Even like against like Mirror Jade, yeah, It's just like, yeah, go ahead, banish yourself. And then 2 Pot of Swordsoul. That's what I call it these days. It's the Pot of Swordsoul. You know, this card's really good. Yeah, makes your Chengyan beefy. And now onto the hand traps. You got the 3 Crow. I think like these are all like pretty cheap now. Yeah, 3 Crow. Only 2 Bell. I do want to play 3, but for some reasons, like when you see Ash, like if you see 2 Ash Blossom in your hand, it doesn't hurt as much as when you see 2 Bells in your hand. So yeah, I just played 2 just for mental purposes. You got the 3 Ash. This card is not like the best, but like against Rogue and like, you know, not against like, I guess tier. Yeah, I guess this card is insane. You get 3 Veiler. Yeah, and then the 3 Imperm. So that's 14 hand traps. Yeah, I think this deck is very flexible. You could play all these cards and still like have a great end board. And yeah, these cards are really good. Yep. Alright, onto the extra deck. We got our Mystic Gohan tokens. Insane. Just put that over here. So I don't own Baron, so this is why I say it's a budget list. For the ones that stay this long for this video. But yeah, you got 2 Chisha. So I'm gonna pick up my Barons once they get the reprint in March. If they're less than like 20 bucks. Other than that, I'm gonna wait. There's no rush. So yeah, instead of the 1 Baron, because I don't own it, I just play 2 Chengyans, because there are times where I wish I had the second one, but it's not like I need it, but I guess now it's like whatever. And then the 1 Sinister Long One. This card's pretty good. Situational. It's like if your opponent's already like at low life points, so you summon this instead of Chengyan or Baron, just so your opponent's forced to like not play anything. They have to like work around it, and it's like really complicated and awkward. The 1 Berserker, the Draco Foriso de Ortenni. Yeah, this card is really good. I think this is like the most expensive card in my extra deck because I don't own Baron, but this is like I think it was like 10 bucks. Yeah, pretty good. And then I do play the Emancipator card, just negates spells and traps for free. So I mean, I feel like it's pretty mandatory, especially since I don't own Baron. Like this is like my only Omni negate in this extra deck. And then yeah, you play 2 Boxia. I think Boxia is like the best going second. Like in this extra deck, going second, like this is like MVP. Like so when you use Taie with the token, that's you can use 2. You just spin back 2 cards in the field, and like it's like so insane. Like it just forces out so many things. Like your opponent has to respond to it, and yeah, like this card is like, I would say it's like the heart and soul of the deck, to be honest. Like because this deck wouldn't be what it is without this card, in my opinion. Like it would not be with the break boards as easy without this card. And then the Chow Fang. I try to make this every time if I had the opportunity with like the with the 10U cards. If you have like a Ashuna and like other 10U card in your hand, yeah, like I always try to go for Chow Fang. And then Yazi, situational, but this card's insane too, you know, because he can't be targeted. People forget that, and like they try to activate the card, and it's like, oh, okay, awkward. And then I think you gotta play 3 Monk. Yeah, like you'll at least run 2 of them, and then you're gonna wish that you had the 3rd. And then yeah, I do play the 1 Shaman. This card's also like very situational. But I think like when you're I think you'll summon this when you're already losing, or you're way ahead of the game. It's like there's no in between. Like you would never summon this card like if your hand's looking like really good, because there's no reason to. Like this card's just like recovery play. and like yeah, like it's usually just because your opponent had everything, all the answers, and this is the last resort. But I think this card could be cuttable, but yeah, for now it's in there just because I had times when I needed it. But yeah, that's the entire deck profile. Remember guys, this is just a budget build, but it could still beat some decks, obviously, just because Swordsoul is, you know, it's pretty good. But yeah, give it a try, and yeah, peace.